everyone. We are live on this Sunday. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, man. Okay, we're back. Yes,
Sorry.
we are live on this Sunday, October 29th, in the aftermath of the Dolphins' 31-17 victory against the New England Patriots to move their record to 6-2 on the season. Now only half a game behind the Kansas City Chiefs atop the AFC standings. And as we speak, the Chiefs are losing against the Denver Broncos by the score of 14-3. So, and this, of course, ahead of the showdown next Sunday in Frankfurt, Germany, against the aforementioned Chiefs. Kind of a taking care of business performance by the Dolphins against the Patriots on this Sunday in a league where there are a lot of upsets, but in a season where the Dolphins have shown that if they play an inferior team, eventually their firepower is going to make the difference, and their margin for error because of that is pretty good.
They're a pretty good team.
Well, duh. Signed Captain Obvious.
No, I mean, people want to underestimate the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots can get you. Like, they can sneak up on you. I just asked the Buffalo Bills. I think and a true test of a good team is you take care of business, especially when you're predicted to win or predicted as a favorite. Can you do what you're expected to do? And a lot of times you see games slip through the cracks sometimes. Well, this Dolphins team right now, they've won every game that they've been predicted to win. And I think they weren't predicted to win the Chargers game. So they pulled one out that they weren't a favorite. And yes, they can't beat teams on the road, especially teams that have physical trench play like the Buffalo Bills or the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think that tune changes when you get guys like Connor Williams and Terron Armstead back. And certainly the defense looks like it's changing with Jaylen Ramsey out there, even though he played way more than he was supposed to play. Just kept waving coaches off, apparently.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. New England is tricky defensively, and they're always good on special teams. The New England offense is not very good. Their margin for error because of that is really, really small. And then it seems every time Mac Jones plays the Dolphins, you can put him down for one throw where it's like, what the hell? Like in week 2 this year, it was trying to hit Devontae Parker near the sideline against Tex. And then today it's that floater of a pass he threw to Kendrick Bourne, and Jaylen Ramsey was covering some other guy going into the end zone. I remember who it was. Like, oh, look at this.
He was in zone. He was in zone, deep zone. And then he saw that pass. He was reading the quarterback. I'm realizing now that Jaylen Ramsey, his back pedal is more like a side pedal. And he just broke on that ball phenomenally quickly. And I don't even think it was a bad pass. I'm looking at it from up high on the stadium. It was really just a great read. That was a check down play, an outlet pass. Probably Mac Jones's third read. Jaylen caught it, saw it, had nobody in his zone, and went and got it. And
it's a nice play, but that thing was a lollipop. I mean, it was a lollipop.
He's got a lollipop arm, just like
I know that
other quarterbacks do. And you leave some out there. Sometimes you throw outside the hash marks. Sometimes it can be gotten. It can be had. And not every quarterback can throw outside the hash marks. I say that all the time, but that doesn't mean that just because you do have a quarterback who can throw outside the hash marks that things are going to be good for you, because Ryan Tannehill could throw outside the hash marks all day long. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good pass. No,
and Mac Jones can't. Mac Jones flat out can't. And again, I'm going to maintain what I said. New England does not have the kind of team, especially offensively, that can overcome those kinds of mistakes, whereas the Dolphins do. Dolphins lost a turnover battle, but it doesn't matter because they can hit you with so many big play after big play after big play after big play. And again, and even Tua brought this up in this post-game press conference, he's like, I can't understand why you would not have a safety over the top if you're going to cover Tyreek one-on-one on the outside and not bump him. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I say this all the time, and I don't know what you do with Tyreek because you're not going to press him. You
have to press him.
No, you don't have to press him. No, that's suicide. What are you pressing him?
Giving him a free release with a safety who's not completely on that side from the start is how many times he has to do it for us to realize this.
If you press him, it's an immediate L. You're not winning. You're not winning pressing him. So You go ahead and press him. If you want to press him, press him. Go ahead, do that, and see what happens. Like it's a
If I'm a
recipe for
DC,
disaster.
I throw different things at him, including the last thing I'm going to do is line up 3 yards off of him at the line of scrimmage and not have my safety in a position to immediately get over the top. Which
I'm
is what
5
happened.
yards off of him. I'm not touching him. Like, are you crazy?
Anyway, that's not our problem. That's a problem for the opposing DCs who obviously haven't figured it out because he was over 100 yards again, which is now what's now 5 times in 8 games. He's over 1,000 yards already in 8 games. He's still on this pace for 2,000 yards. Dude's completely ridiculous.
He was surprised that we told him he's on pace for 2,000. I'm like, dude, can you not do math? Like, how do you not know?
Like he doesn't know.
No, he's like, really? Like, I was like,
and this is where
where you been?
You're gonna have to forgive me if I smell Tyreek trolling over there.
Sorry, yeah. Jaylen Ramsey basically said, Jaylen, because we asked Jaylen, and Tyreek was in the room. So, Jaylen, can you run us through the injury? He's like, yeah, I was defending Tyreek, and I was locking him up. And I looked at Tyreek to see if there was a reaction, and Tyreek was just like, yeah, that was right. My mind was blown. Like, because you know how competitors are, you like, oh, you was locking me up? Who you talking? Say you was locking up. No, but that first week he was locking him up.
Well, it's true. It was injured the second day of practice. So
yeah, I know, but he got him the first day too.
Let's tackle some of these questions. How is Rob Hunt? That's a good question. He never came back into the game after sustaining a hamstring injury. When he first went down, I saw him grab the back of his knee to me. So maybe it was the area where the hamstring was hurt. Didn't come back. Good thing Kendall Lamb did come back from his abdomen injury.
Man.
But Rob Hunt, don't know. When we'll find out.
You have choices to make. I chose to go to the podium because they were giving us Ramsey, Hill, and Tyreek. And so I didn't get to go in the locker room and see Rob. So unfortunately, I failed everybody.
Well, chances are he would have been getting treatment.
Yeah, but you still see him getting. I would stay in until you got dressed and see what status is and see if he'd talk. But I feel like a failure. But you have choices to make.
You have choices to make, and then it's okay. We forgive you. We forgive you.
I did ask Mike McDaniel about Terron Armstead.
No, it's correct. I caught that, and yeah, it was kind of non-committal. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out Wednesday if he's designated to return. But again, Kendall Lamb's doing a very, very, very good job at left tackle. So I'm going to preach erring on the side of caution. Bring Terron Armstead back when he's ready to come back.
And for the sake of transparency, previously on this podcast, I proposed the thought and theory of Kendall Lamb playing left guard when Terron Armstead comes back, and Kendall Lamb put this kibosh on it. He said, basically, I was asked by Butch Barry if that would be something I was interested in, and I told him no. And he explained why he said no. He said the games that happen at offensive tackle, he's like, I know myself, and the games that happen at offensive tackle and the twists and stunts, he's like, no, I'm used to dealing with these guys on the edge of speed. I'll do whatever the team asks me, but he's like that, you're better off with Lester and some of these young guys in there. And as you've dealt with Kendall Lamb a little bit, the man's as real and as honest and candid as it gets.
Oh, love him.
Yeah.
Let's answer some of these questions. I want to start with this one because this guy agrees with me, which means he's obviously very, very knowledgeable. Thank you, Keith. Great showing, joining you guys in Wisconsin to the Patriots. We are the Legion of Broom. Very good. Twice in 3 years now. Very good. You've got to press him with one guy and double him deep.
I don't like the fact that Tua played down the fact he's never lost to Bill Belichick. But
and major props to Tua for me on that one because I thought it was a completely overblown stat because today I would tell you today was easily the most impactful Tua was in a game against New England. Whereas Dude, it's the first time he's thrown for 300 yards against the Patriots. And you can roll your eyes all you want. And I've given you the stats where in his first 5 wins against New England, it was all about getting takeaways and the running game. And then today, 2 or 3 for 324 yards.
And you know what you underestimate and you don't put enough value in? That
Go for it. Please tell me.
That 4-minute offense at the end of the drive where it didn't even matter that they scored a touchdown. They could have driven out the clock with that 4-minute drive at the end of the game. A 4-minute offense. When you get the ball and you don't relinquish it and you just continue to eat clock, you know how many teams wish they could do that and can't? And this team can.
But they don't. But today they did it.
And they've done it previous years too.
Omar, but no, Omar, the timing of you telling me that is weird because I just said that today was easily the most impactful Tua has been against New England.
Yeah. Okay. His record is still perfect against New England, and he has a lot to do with that. Ask Tyreek. He's the MVP.
Okay. Tyreek's the MVP, but we're not getting into that. We're not getting into that conversation.
If Tyreek says Tua's the MVP, Tua's the MVP.
First of all, we're really not going to do that. We're really not going to do it. This is Tyreek being a good teammate, and that's awesome that he said that, and major props for him to saying that. Again, Perkins and I are allowed to have our opinion that if we had a vote right now, and judging by the fact that the Chiefs are losing 14-6, they're about to go to 6-2, which will be the same record as the Dolphins. To me, Tyreek's the MVP right now. But again, and then Tua would be in the conversation as well. And we're allowed to have that opinion without being put down or chastised and all that.
Lambasted,
flamboyant, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Tyreek is a phenomenal player and an offensive tremendous weapon and a cheat code, as defenders call him. But this, you know who's driving this train. Anyway.
Tyreek, and it's a machine knows it. Okay.
Tua.
Okay, fine.
Tua.
Okay, no problem. Cool. I am not.
I know.
We have gone back and forth on this issue before. I am not doing it again. My position has been stated. It doesn't need to be Tua versus Tyreek. They're both obviously very, very important to the success of the Dolphins. And let's leave it at that. Mike Best, why do other teams not? Thank you very much. Why do other teams not get the scrutiny about beating winning teams as the Dolphins? The Jets barely beat the Giants. The Panthers beat the Texans, etc. Mike, here's the reason, and you're going to like it actually, because nobody's talking about the Jets as a potential Super Bowl team, whereas people are talking about the Dolphins as a Super Bowl team, but they need to show they can beat a winning team. Nobody's saying the Jets are a Super Bowl contending team, but they need to show they can beat a winning team. So from that standpoint, like nobody cares about the Jets barely beating a bad team because nobody's putting the Jets at the same level as the Dolphins.
I'm not disqualifying the statement that you just made, but who are we talking about as a national Super Bowl team? Contenders. 49ers, Kansas City, Buffalo, Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, I put the Dolphins in that conversation.
No. I'm just saying not.
You mean other than that? Yeah.
Is anybody talking about Baltimore like that? And I think they are.
No. I think people should talk about Baltimore like that. I think some people might talk about Dallas like that, except they got spanked by the 49ers. The Cowboys would be in that conversation of have they beaten a really good team?
Yeah, I mean,
spanked by the 49ers, and then
like look at the Chiefs. They just lost to. They lost to
the Lions on opening night because their receivers kept dropping passes and gave them a pick six.
Yeah, it was the Lions. My bad. And
no,
then
if they lose to Denver today, that's going to be a stain on their.
Yeah, especially since Miami put 70 on them. And who was it that said that it's going to be Tyreek? He said it's going to be a great game against two of the best offenses in the NFL. This is what the NFL wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but when this was made for Germany, nobody knew Dolphins would be one of the best offenses in the NFL. Did they really?
Maybe not to this level because nobody saw it to this level. But it's not like they weren't good offensively last year. They finished what, 6th in the NFL in total offense.
So that's what we want right now. We're just putting teams that are top offenses on television. Is that why? Because honestly, and I'm being very transparent here. Usually, my life is getting on the way to games. I'm like literally working, doing things, driving car, coming here, watching the practice field. Now that I do the pregame show and there's televisions in the studio, I watch ESPN for 4 hours, and I swear to you, I would swear on my life, on my children's life, for 70% of those 4 hours, they're talking about the Miami Dolphins. And I don't understand. I'm like, when did it become like this? Like every minute I'm looking at ESPN, they're talking about the Dolphins. They're videoing Tyreek's walk in and Tua's walk in and showing Dolphins highlights and talking. And I'm like,
but you say like it's a bad thing, though.
I don't say it's not a bad thing, but I'm just like, when were the Dolphins the team that everybody's talking about? When did that happen? When did that shift happen?
When they started getting on a pace to set NFL records for total offense, that's when. And then you have a wide receiver who was on pace for 2,000 yards. You had a running back who was on pace to tie the NFL record for touchdowns in a season, even though I believe Raheem Mostert's fallen off that pace.
He's at 10 now.
And then you had Tua putting up ridiculous numbers as well. So that's why. And the 70-20 win against Denver. If people weren't talking about the Dolphins before that, then yeah, absolutely. But Mike, I hope that answers your question. And I would hope. Yeah, nobody gives a crap about the teams like the Jets or other teams have beaten if they're bad, because nobody's talking about them as a potential Super Bowl team. So, okay, why is Belichick crying about hits to the helmet as Elliott hit Parker? But when Waddle took the hit in week 2, he said that was a clean hit. Parker is softer than his soft tissue. That is such a. Oh, I'm sorry, but that is such a.
No.
Such a horrible take. It's a helmet to helmet where he probably got a concussion. I mean.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's such a horrible take.
That should have been a flag, without a doubt. That should have been a flag.
And then for those who are like saying it wasn't intentional, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Helmet to helmet, it's an automatic flag.
It doesn't matter. And you know, we're gonna since we spent a week talking about ref calls, and I've argued that it's home cooking. This happens all the time. I watch games with an unbiased viewpoint, and I can see you get home cooking all the time in NFL games. So yes, was the Eagles game over the top? Like no question, it was over the top. But I think now you just saw the reverse of that, where like Patriots couldn't beg for a call, like they got nothing, and. You know, and I've been joking on Twitter and joking on radio, and I really do mean it. It's like the NFL said to Miami Dolphins, "All right, you don't want to do hard knocks. All right, let's see how this Eagles game plays out for you. You didn't get a damn call, not one call. You sure you don't want to do hard knocks?" And Dolphins is like, "All right, fine, we'll do hard knocks. Next game, oh, you got every single call you want. Like, let's go to Germany. Let's see if you can get some calls."
I saw that was funny.
I was like, you know, like, because they were, let's be real about it. They were forced to do hard knocks. Like, why the NFL can't force another team, I get it. But everybody wants, but why can't they force Kansas City? Why isn't Kansas City on hard knocks? Why is it the Miami Dolphins? Because I would think people would have the same level of interest in Kansas City.
Yeah, and I don't know what there was a criteria in place, but I don't know how that applies to the in-season hard knocks, because by the criteria in place for training camp hard knocks, there were only 4 teams that could have been forced this year. It was like the Jets, the Commanders. I don't remember the other 2, and they picked the Jets, but the Dolphins did not meet the criteria to be forced to do hard knocks because they made the playoffs last year, and that's
like the list should begin with, if you haven't done hard knocks, you're on the list. Like how do like Dolphins already done hard knocks. So like how are they? And I get it, you know, Steve Ross is still working to get his juice in the NFL. He just got a slap on the wrist, you know, for being a bad man, violating rules.
For tampering, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's still got that thing looming over his head with Brian Flores. And I'm not gonna say it's race specific because Brian Flores was a jerk, but let's be real about the NFL's hiring and firing practices. Like, it is race driven. Like, so, but I don't get it. I don't get how they're forced to do hard knocks unless it benefits you in some way. And don't think a $16 billion empire who needs these hard knocks to do well to enhance their brand is not thinking big picture and forcing the Dolphins to think, hey, think big picture. You want those calls or you don't want those calls.
Okay, John C. If we lose both games to the Pats, we will both be 500. Let's move on from the inferior team. They are because we beat them. Good show, guys. They're a bad team because they're a bad team, and props to the Dolphins for taking care of the bad teams.
They're not a bad team. Who said the Patriots are a bad team? They're a bad offense.
Well, correct.
The Patriots will sneak up on about 4 or 5 more teams this year. They will get somebody.
What's their high end? What's their ceiling in terms of wins?
7.
That's a bad team. Okay. It's a bad team. And for me,
that's been the Dolphins for 2 decades.
But for me, well, it was 2. Now it's for 16 games. But instead of being all offended when that comes up, how about we tip our hat to the Dolphins for the fact that they handled the bad team better than probably any team in the NFL. So,
what's that Kansas City score? I'm very curious.
14-6.
Mm-hmm. Damn, 14.
I'm going around here.
It's the second quarter.
Like, well, the problem is for the Chiefs is Taylor Swift's not there, so that's a major issue. Right, there you go. Did we lose any O linemen for the Chiefs game? Any serious injuries for them? We don't know. We were just discussing this. Kendall Lamb came back into the game. Connor Williams was active but didn't play. The fact that he was active, that's cool.
Mike McDaniel clarified. I apologize for eating in front of you guys, but I'm starving. I've been all day. Mike McDaniel clarified that Connor was available, but they didn't want to play him because they feared he would regress, and they don't want the regression. So he was available to be a backup. And based on what I saw, Liam didn't poop himself. Who used the term pooped himself? Oh, Tua did. I got to cut that up for sound, brother.
No, and as it turned out, he wound up being the only offensive lineman who did not participate, unless I'm wrong, because Keon Smith came in for like 4 plays for Kendall Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Jones came in for Robert Hunt. And I don't know if you noticed that like early in the game, they were alternating by series between Robert Jones and Lester Cotton at left guard. Before
I did not notice that. Thank you for clarifying that. I got to watch that over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to address this.
What up, pretty boy?
Pretty boy. I love Omar Poo, but then said that this wasn't going to be an easy, was way off.
You thought this was easy?
I have no idea. It was comfortable. I mean, it wasn't like, by the way, and I predicted on alldolphins.com yesterday as part of my preview 30-20, it was 31-17. I don't know if I was that far off. Another bad take is them not calling Holland elite. He's been so good this season. Wait until next week. Sorry. And there's so many people getting in their feelings about Javon Holland. I mean, do we have Javon on? I mean, I don't know. Sorry. I told somebody else who was like all up in his feelings. You want us to tell you he's been playing fabulous? Awesome.
He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
But
he's phenomenal.
You want us to be honest with you guys?
I
don't see it.
Listen, and somebody showed me like Pro Football Focus clearly heard what we were saying because they put up a post about who's the most underrated NFL player.
Oh, I saw that.
It's Javon Holland. And I was like, go right ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Like, I swear they're on the take. They are paid by agents. No, that I can't prove it, but there is no doubt in my mind. And y'all could shoot this, videotape it, clip it, put it wherever you want to put it. I stand on what I say, and trust me,
he's been fine. To say he's been elite, no, I don't see it. Diedrich, although he's 6-0, today was to his first kill versus Belichick. Sounds like something I just said. Very good, Diedrich. You're a smart man. I love you, buddy.
I cannot even remember any of the other games, so you shall. I believe the no, that was Tannehill game. The Miami Miracle was a Tannehill game.
Oh, but it was. I'll give you all the scores if you want them.
No, thank you. I pass.
Okay.
I appreciate
it.
But
it was a lot of great running performances and a lot of takeaways on defense. But today, absolutely. Also, the Ahmed experiment needs to end. PSU two together is like Hill and Waddle.
I would like to.
I like that. Are you Waddle, Omar, or are you Tyreek?
I would like to formally apologize to everybody who follows the All Dolphins podcast on my behalf and on Alan's behalf, because he is a co-conspirator. We both told you consistently that Devon Achane was just as good as I'm sorry, that was Savon Ahmed was just as good as Devon Achane. We are clearly wrong. We have been fooled. It was a misunderstanding of fabrication of the truth. And we would like to formally apologize on behalf of the All Dolphins podcast. They are not the same. They are not even close to the same. And it
was our belief based on the evidence that we had at the time. And upon reviewing more evidence as it's come in,
upon further review,
very clear that our observations were off the mark.
Yes, no question about it. Like, listen, Devon Achane is special. Savon is a decent NFL player. And let's leave it there. I formally and humbly apologize to everybody. Like,
why are we apologizing? We were wrong. How about we take the L? It's not.
Listen, people still bring up Legadou Nene to me. People still bring up.
You were in love with that dude.
Oh my God, that dude! Come on, that dude was good. Don't play like he wasn't good with David Garrard. All right, you're just going to ignore me. Okay. You're just going to not even back me. Okay, no problem. Then they bring up the fact that I said Cameron Wake, his rookie season, needed to be good on special teams. Otherwise, I'm not certain he was going to make the team. They still bring that up to me because I was wrong. And because, Wake was not a practice performer at all. I don't think I've ever seen one dominant practice from Cameron Wake ever in my life.
I remember. But the dude had 39 sacks in 2 years in the CFL. He was going to get a lot of rope after the Dolphins signed him, and he had a lot of teams after him.
That is true.
Here's the thing: is we throw out a lot of different opinions, and we're going to be wrong on some of them. The thing with Ahmed actually had a really nice play today on the 3rd and 13 screen pass, where that should have been stopped way short of a first down. He made a guy miss, got the first down, but for the most part, so far this season, Savon's getting whatever yardage is there to be gotten on the play and nothing else.
I will say this. That impressive play that he had, in the back of my mind, I thought Achane would have housed it. And I can't stop thinking that. And it's good. And I'm not saying I like Savon. I think he's one of my favorite guys in the locker room to talk to. Like, we talk about music and other things. And I've always been a fan, and I've told him this. I've always been a fan and admirer of his skill when the pads are not on. Then when the pads come on, it's like vanishing act. And I thought this is the year that he transitioned and grew out of that. And then here we are. He kills it in preseason, top back in preseason, in the lineup, gets hurt, opens the door for Devon, and then, oh my God. And obviously, it wasn't meant to be. So it is what it is. That's the story. I've always thought about this, and I always write this piece, and I was close to writing the piece for Lester Cotton this week, but I didn't. I chose to pull it back. And adversity creates opportunity, and Mike McDaniel has that written on the door in entering into the locker room. And when you get those opportunities in the NFL, just like Kendall Lamb has got an opportunity right now, and Robert Jones is going to get that opportunity right now, and Lester Cotton gets that opportunity, and Devon Achane, you got to seize that moment, and you got to deliver. And if you don't seize the moment and you don't deliver, okay, next. Because tell you right now, Lester Cotton doesn't get the job done. Next. And who else is a fit?
Except this is why, and I hate to do this because I really like the guy who's one of my favorites on the team, is Robert Jones. Had a couple of issues. He had a false start. He had a holding. For a minute, he had an ineligible downfield on that screen pass before the officials picked up the flag. So he's going to have to cut down on the penalties because he's the next in line. If it's not Lester Cotton who gets the job done at left guard, then it would be Robert Jones. But he's got to cut down on the penalties. Can we address Dolphantina here? Who votes for MVP? Is it possible to have a duo MVP? It's 50 people, bunch of writers. There are some broadcasters. I don't know exactly how they're picked. And yes, it could turn out if the voting is exactly even, there could be co-MVPs. I'm trying to think if it's ever happened. But that would be cool, and that would answer and stop all the debate if Dolphins wind up with the best record and Tua and Tyreek are co-MVPs.
Now, there's, as I said before, and I've seen this mistake done once on a college level where Willis McGahee and Ken Dorsey canceled themselves out. And I don't even remember who won the Heisman that year. And you cannot have two candidates from the same team competing for the same honor. It will cancel itself out. One of them has to back out and relinquish.
What, Omar? What does that mean? It's not like
it means exactly what Tyreek Hill did, where he said Tua is the MVP, and he has to continue to do this if he wants his quarterback to win the award.
Do you think for a second that an MVP voter is going to go, well, Tyreek is backing his quarterback, so I'm not voting for him? Oh,
absolutely, I do. No question.
This is
without
where
a doubt,
because we stay polite on the All Dolphins podcast. This is where I'm telling you, I think you are off your rocker on that one, Omar.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
He's got to do it. He's got to do it more and over and over and over again. He's going to have to do it 4 more times. He's going to have to say Tyreek's line, whether he believes it or not, because he knows he's already got $30 million and he needs his quarterback to get $50 million. And he knows, how do I help my quarterback who feeds me and is going to help me get a record? I need to keep saying Tua is the MVP.
But the MVP voters, with all due respect, don't give a crap that Tyreek is sticking up for his teammate. No, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Let's move on because
they do. They will unequivocally listen to him and believe him, because Stephen A. will bring him up every single time. When Tyreek goes up there with Stephen A., which I believe he will, because Tyreek loves the attention too much. So he's probably not going to do it this week when he's going to Germany. But Tyreek is going to be on First Take and probably the bye week.
Oh, I could see that. I absolutely could see that. Yeah.
And he's going to do a 15-minute pitch on why Tua is the MVP, and it's going to swing votes. You wouldn't, but if somebody's telling me don't vote for me, vote for this guy, and I want to vote for him, I'm going to vote for who he says. It's going to happen.
Except if I have a vote, okay, the only thing I care about is my integrity. Mm-hmm. And to the best of my ability, giving the vote to the person I think is most deserving. And I am also going to be very aware of the fact that Tyreek is sticking up for his teammate, like a very, very good teammate. It's cool that he's doing it. I love it. But to me, doesn't change the fact that by my very humble opinion right now, Tyreek is slightly ahead of Tua in that race. And not just because Tyreek wants to pitch Tua, that would make me change my opinion. Anyway, we move on.
If I tell you don't vote for me, don't vote for me. Vote for this guy.
Omar, if I were to decide to do next week, I'm going to think about it and I'm going to decide I'm going to vote on my favorite colleague of all time. You tell me don't vote for me. I'm going to tell you, Omar, I don't give a crap. I'm going to vote for who I want to vote.
That's because you're difficult.
Can't argue with that. Christian, can Tua come back player of the year and MVP? Absolutely can. And his only competition for comeback player of the year based on the odds. Why are you making a face?
Where'd he go?
Where'd I go?
Where'd Tua go? He was the number 1 player in the league, number 1 passer rated.
Because he had 2 concussions. His career was in doubt based on a lot of the reports, even what he himself said. And if you look, Omar, at the odds makers' odds for comeback player of the year, it's been all year. It's been Damar Hamlin 1 and Tua 2. Well, Damar Hamlin's inactive practically every week.
Tua's a front runner for comeback player of the year. I got to think about who got hurt last year, because this is ridiculous. He didn't go nowhere. Where'd he been?
Well, he missed 4 starts. But your argument actually makes. But I think based on the fact, again, because of the concussions and because of the severity of those.
Damn, Tua about to win every award this year. Shit.
He might win Lineman of the Year for the way we're going. True fan, Mac Jones better than Tua, huh? Obviously, you didn't pay attention. You didn't pay attention to Tom Kernan when he was saying that no Mac Jones not better than Tua, making the point And if you can't see that, making the point that Mac Jones doesn't have anywhere near the guys around him to whom to throw the way Tua does, and if you can't see that, sorry.
And Tom Curran, he apologized to Tuanon. So come on, fellas. He apologized to you. He said,
okay, looks like Casey's going for a 56-yard field goal attempt at the end of the first half.
They're going to win this game. You gave me the impression that it's close.
I mean, this guy, because they don't have right now, their offense is really good. Obviously, we know that their defense gotten really good. And oh, by the way, they have like one of the best kickers in the NFL. He just nailed a 56-yard field goal, 14-9 at the half. Lionel, you took off Lionel.
Yeah,
That's early, but do you see any coaches being poached this offseason? Would love to have the staff for another year besides a special teams coach. Wow. Shot at Danny Crossman there.
Danny didn't do nothing bad today.
No.
The special teams, it was a stalemate. That's a win.
No, and the worst special teams play wasn't his fault. It was first drive of the game when they punted on fourth, and I don't know what it was, from the Patriots 39-yard line, and Jake Bailey put that thing in the middle of the end zone. That was a horrible pooch kick. But does Tyreek get to 2,000? I say he does.
All right, if his body can hold up, I say he does.
You don't get hurt. You did notice, however, after his touchdown, ran straight to the bench. There was no touchdown celebration.
He said he was tired of getting fines from the NFL. And I didn't get clarification of whether he was fined for the cell phone or not.
He wasn't. He
wasn't. But, the NFL might be doing some NFL. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but he says he's tired of the fines.
I love that speed walking thing that Mostert did with him, too, after Mostert scored a touchdown.
And he said he was basically mocking his hip. I got bad hips. Yeah. I was like, okay. All right, you mocking us now.
That was funny.
He was pissed at Tua because Tua didn't do the celebration that they had planned. No, Waddle. He was pissed at Waddle because Waddle didn't do the celebration that they had planned. Because they plan out these celebrations.
No, correct.
Waddle scored in the fourth quarter, they didn't do the celebration.
That was an interesting defense by the Patriots there. Let's go have two guys chase Tyreek on the sideline, and we'll leave Waddle wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's a jet motion.
Yes, it is.
And that's the name of it. It's called a jet motion. Funny enough, Kyle Shanahan, I read a story where Kyle Shanahan stole it from Mike McDaniel and called it a cheat motion. And you know why it's called a cheat motion, because it's like right there on the line of whether it's illegal or not. And they do it at home. They don't do it on the road as much. And I think a lot of that is because they can hear the ball snap when Tua needs to snap the ball.
Miami Dolphins will beat the Chiefs 27-17. Print that. Well, no offense, but no, I'm not going to print that unless that becomes my prediction when I do my preview on Saturday. I don't know yet. I have to evaluate how things go. What up, Mike? Serious question. When do we stop blaming the O-line injuries on bad luck and look into if they aren't training properly? I'm happy with how the backups played today, though Tua was clean mostly. Yeah,
it's a physical game in the trenches. O-line,
correct, and a lot of it, it wasn't bad training. They got Armstead to have somebody fall on the side of his knee. Not necessarily about it. Tua was clean for the most part. Robert Hunt, before he went out, got beat badly on the one sack by Christian Barmore early in the game. The sack by Kyle Duggar on a blitz came because Julian Hill and Austin Jackson both went to block the same edge defender and left Duggar from the outside. And there was there was 3 sacks against Tua, right? 2 or 3.
I don't know.
I can't remember the other one. You don't know and you don't care.
MM asked, why don't we run the ball? Last I checked, Dolphins had the best rushing attack in the NFL. They only have 206 rushing yards 206 rushing attempts on the season, but they're at 5.9 yards per carry. A lot of that on a byproduct of big run plays, but I don't think they have a running game issue. I think today they were contained and defended, but Patriots, I think it's hard to run the ball with 3 backups on the field.
Correct. And here's the thing, and this is something that you, my friend, mentioned quite a bit when it comes to the running game. Can you run it when you need to? And in that game sealing drive that the Dolphins had,
they ran the ball.
Had a big, was it 10 or 11 yards? And he had 21 yards on 5 carries on that drive. Or was it 4 carries? But he had 21 yards. So, yeah, they're. I don't know if they're still going to be number one statistically. Understand that the statistics were skewed quite a bit by that ridiculous game against Denver where they rushed for 350 yards. I don't know that they're. Do we really look at them, Omar? If you're going to be honest about it, do we really look at them and go, are they a good running team, or are they the best running team in the NFL? I know what the statistics say, but if we're going to be realistic about it.
I think that they're a good running team when they have all their horses on the offensive line. And I don't hold that against me. Right now, you've got Eichenberg in there. You're riding Eichenberg Express. You got Lester Cotton starting his second NFL game. And you got Kendall Lamb, who's holding it down admirably. Appreciate you, brother. But when Terron Armstead gets there, and hopefully he gets healthy, but I swear to God, Terron Armstead is a second or third best offensive lineman in the NFL. Like, people, how quickly they forget. Like, did you not see that Denver game? Did you not see that thing? That thing, he was mowing people down. And that's what you need to have a good running game. You think the 49ers look the same without Trent Williams? No, they don't.
No.
Like, bro, put some respect on. And I hate this. Like, Dolphin fans want to disrespect everybody. Like, where the line is for me is, do not disrespect elite players at their position. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's when you piss me off, because all Dolphin fans say, "Oh, Terron Armstead's fragile. He's made of glass, Mr. Glass. Nickname Mr. Glass." Man, y'all better put some respect on that man's name. Like, have you seen Terron Armstead playing out there with one leg last year? Like, mowing people down this season. Okay, he started the year injured, hurt, got rolled up in the joint practices. Then he plays in Denver. Did you not see that 70-point performance? Did you not pay attention to who is 30 yards downfield mowing people down? Like, y'all better put some respect on that man's name. Like, for real, Terron Armstead is that dude.
It's funny, though, because people would accuse us of doing that with Javon, not respecting the elite player.
Yeah, like, no. I can't, like, okay, do something. You got 2 forced fumbles. Okay, tell me what else he did this year.
He had 3 forced fumbles total. He had 2 against Denver, and he got another one at some point.
When did he get another one?
I don't know, but he's got 3 forced fumbles.
Okay, all right, Mr. Fumble. Show me when he's been in position for an interception.
Oh, and dude, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. What's one dark horse trade that would raise y'all eyebrows?
I say this and I stand by it. Go get Lavonte David. Go get Lavonte David. That makes your defense that's trending upwards potentially elite. An inside linebacker that could sniff out the run and actually shoot the right gap, not the wrong gap. That could be a finishing piece.
So here's my 2 problems with that, and then one of them I've told you before is, first of all, David Long's playing some really good ball.
He is.
And then number 2,
this isn't about David Long. Just
okay, but
maybe
number 2 is why does Tampa Bay trade Lavonte David when they play in a really, really, really bad division?
I hear you.
That they still have a chance to win, even though they're 3-4.
I mean, a draft pick can sweeten everything, make everything right. If I tell you right now, you give up a 4th round pick and go get a finishing piece that makes you there's a kid out there working on his long snapping. It's like, okay, on the field. Anyway, if I tell you right now, just like Christian McCaffrey trade to the 49ers last year made them like a Super Bowl contending team, go get Lavonte David. Promise you, you're a Super Bowl contending team.
Dude, but yet that's not my point. My point is, yeah, absolutely. It's a great trade for the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that Carolina was going nowhere last year when they made the McCaffrey trade. Why would Tampa Bay get rid of an important piece at a time when they actually can compete in a crappy division? That's my thing. I like the trade from the Dolphins standpoint. I really do.
Tampa Bay just lost. Oh yeah, they lost 24-18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like don't be a pretender. Go get you a 4th round pick. Come on. Yeah, make it work. Or the Dolphins can go. I think they have a bigger need at defensive line defensive tackle, because I think they're one injury away from falling apart, just like this offensive line is falling apart right now. Hopefully Christian and Sealer and Raekwon stay healthy, but let's not pretend they have depth there, because they really don't.
They don't, and there was one play today, I think it was fairly late in the game, where Zach Sealer was shaking his arm after the play, and I'm like, oh no. But he stayed on the next play, so I guess it was just
watched Durham Smite limping around outside the locker room today. And that tight end is another issue. But I think Chase Claypool can be your tight end, to be honest with you. I think he is.
First catch in the Dolphin uniform today.
The vending machine.
Yep. Here's our buddy John. Seems like the backup players on the O-line played well today. The Pats defensive line that bad? I would like your opinions on the backup O-line players of the Dolphins. The Pats defensive line is not that bad. Christian Barmore is a very good player. Devon Gottschall, who Dolphin fans would know, is
average player.
Fair enough. Who else are they? I don't even know who else they have. I forget. Dedrick Wise, serviceable. Barmore's
they're average. They're mid. They're all mid.
They're mid.
Everybody on the Patriots is mid. Anybody on the Patriots you scared of?
Kyle Duggar is a hell of a player, and I'm not saying that just because he had a pick.
Okay.
And he had a pick and a sack.
He's really good one. All right. I like Trent Brown. I know he's sometimes he plays, sometimes he doesn't play. I get it. You're a 6'9", 370-pound man. Sometimes your effort is not there. Oh well, I understand it.
Mountain Man.
But he's elite. He can help this team.
Mountain Man Fishing's asking, please answer my question. No more. I don't see your question. If we see your question, we're trying to answer.
Ask the question again, Mountain Man.
Exactly. Well, look at the right at the bottom here. Billy Batson, who selected A-Chan. I can't help but think that's a Mike McDaniel pick, personally.
It's absolutely a Mike McDaniel pick. That's a player that Mike McDaniel targets. And I know, going back to his history at San Francisco, Mike McDaniel picked the majority of the running backs in the draft that they selected. So Mike McDaniel, he specializes in drafting running backs and knowing the formula for the Denver cutback runners and outside zone runners. So that is without a doubt a Mike McDaniel pick.
Yeah, and he wanted more speed for that offense.
Okay, Omar with Ramsey and Hill cutting dreads. You up next? Absolutely not. I've done it before. Would never do it. You lose energy. Nah, not for me. You lose energy. Hey, Ramsey. Here's a little secret. Tyreek's dreads weren't real. It is what it is. Yeah, remember his introductory press conference? He had the same haircut he had today, and then training camp rolls around. He's got dreads. They don't grow that fast. But hey, he cut them off. It is what it is.
Why is he not asking me that question? I'm sorry. Armando, wait. Why would pointing out that Terron Armstead has health issues be disrespecting him? I think he would agree, as some fans get all in their feelings about Holland. So do you with Armstead. We're not talking about Armstead's health issues. We're talking about how good of a player he is. And yes, he's had durability issues. He's also been the victim of bad luck, which was the case with his injury.
Both injuries this year. But it's not like yes, he had bad luck. He got rolled up on in both injuries, but and older players take longer to come back from injuries. These are all facts. But let's not act like his body's just breaking down on him, because I don't think that's the case. Now, if he comes back and suffers another season-ending injury, then I got, what do I say? What do I say to that? But if he suffers it getting rolled up on, like people act like they would get rolled up on by a 300-pound man and just be like, all right, I'm bouncing back. Like, no, that don't happen.
I'd be curious whether Dolphin fans, if they're being honest with themselves, knowing what you know now, would you prefer the Dolphins not sign him?
Yeah, no, your options were at this time, and this is because I remember I was there. I physically was there, just as you were. Your options were Trent Brown, La'el Collins, or Terron Armstead, because you weren't going to get anything in the draft. And you chose Terron Armstead, and you paid the handsome price for it. La'el Collins is out the league. I personally think the Dolphins should give him a call in a workout before they go to Germany. Like you might want to explore that. And Trent Brown, you see what's happening. Sometimes he wants to play, sometimes he doesn't. So which way are you going?
Okay, let's tackle as many of these as we can. Mountain Man Fishing, we are to your question. How is it okay for Brock Purdy to play today with having a concussion on Monday? Isn't the NFL biased and no one is calling for him to retire after being concussed? He's playing because he passed all of the concussion protocol steps, and nobody was calling for, and those who were calling for to retire were looking out for his welfare. I don't understand why that's an issue of look, everybody's against the Dolphins. Shouldn't, if the call was being made or the question was being asked out of concern for the guy's long-term health, that's an issue of bias and that's something bad. That's weird to me. Omar, you want to weigh in?
Hey, I don't agree. I think there should be a rule that if a player is deemed that they've suffered a concussion, they should be forced to sit out a game. I think that should be a hard and firm rule. If teams take it, Mike McDaniel clearly believes in that rule because I'm pretty sure Javon Holland passed his concussion protocol test, but they decided to sit him out this week. And I'm fine with it because ultimately we should care more about the player and their well-being and their health more than whether or not we have them on the field for a game. And truthfully speaking, most of these coaches, with the exception of Mike McDaniel, don't give two flying figs about a player's health. They don't. And they say they do. They really don't.
No, but that's not, with all due respect, I mean, let's not make it seem like Mike McDaniel's the only coach in the NFL who does.
I'm saying he's not the only coach, but he's in the minority.
Is he? I don't know.
I think he is.
I wanted to bring this one up here because, again, okay, Daniel, Tua passed all the concussion follow-up tests ahead of the Bengals game last year. Not sure that's the standard we should go on. By the way,
he did not take any concussion protocol.
Correct. There was no concussion protocol last year at this time. That actually was implemented after Tua in the Cincinnati game. So your point is not valid, my friend. I am sorry to tell you. And also, all of the reporting on all the official word was that Tua did not sustain a concussion against Buffalo.
It was a back injury.
A back injury.
Quote unquote a back injury. And I think they learned their lesson. And this is not me reporting anything, but I think they learned their lesson skirting concussion injuries. And that's why you saw Javon Holland. Javon Holland could have easily lied on Monday when he reported to the team facility and they asked him if he suffered any concussion effects. And 90% of the players that I know, past players, would have lied and gone out there and played and risked their health. I'm proud of Javon Holland. It's a step in the right direction. And when you see the history of players with these CTE damage and suicidal thoughts, and it's some serious stuff. It is some really, really, really dark, twisted, serious stuff. This game is not meant to be played by a sane person. And literally, these people are committing suicide every single game for a lot of money. And I'm proud that they're stepping up and taking care of their health or being more conscious of it. Correct. Like Channing Crowder would tell a story. He might suffer 2 concussions a game. Like he'll black out on making a tackle. But that was the era that they played in.
Getting the bell
rung. Like what do you think smelling salt's for? Like and Zach Thomas is like, yeah, I got my smelling salt, coach, because they used to the car crash every play. But
okay, let's Melchiwick. That's all yours, Omar. Go for it.
I've been following you since 2008 season. Old member of the original MOB. Oh, I love you, the mob. That's a blog thing. There's the Legion and there's the Mob. Glad to see you in this new platform. Thank you. I appreciate that so tremendously. And I thank Alan for creating this platform and building this thing. And, we continue to build the podcast, but Alan has been rocking that All Dolphins for years and years and years. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. And hopefully you will not subscribe, because you don't have to subscribe and you don't have to pay an entry fee, and it's all free, and we're there, and we will continue to be there for free.
And I'm honored to have you as my colleague.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This is sad, but we want to acknowledge it as well. Another one of you peeps.
Longtime fan Omar. 2 days ago, my father passed, and I'm headed to the Chiefs game. He was so excited for me. Finn's winning for him. Rest in peace, Dad. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, condolences, Nick.
For some reason, I thought about my parents passing this weekend. I don't know what made that come into my mind. Like I think I saw a woman's social media clip about her mother passing and the depression that it caused. And then I thought about my mother. Her mother passed 2 years ago, and I think she's probably just getting past it or just getting over it. And I started to think to myself, like, man, how long would the loss of my parents send me into a state of depression? Like, to this day, my parents live 20 minutes away from me, 25. And I can call on them anytime to watch my daughter, or I say to my dad, like, hey, Dad, this is going on in my house. My towel rack fell. Can you come put on a new towel rack? No, I don't know how to put on a towel rack. I hate drilling anything into I know how to use tools, but I don't like drilling into drywall. I cannot do it because it always falls out. No matter what screw I use, it just sucks. I hate drywall. If I had a house, if I built my house, I built my whole house concrete just so that every nail will stay in it. But yeah, I my condolences to you, because I can't even fathom what it would be like to lose a parent.
Absolutely. Moving, Carlos Armstead's supposed to come back next week. He's eligible to come back next week. We will not know.
Mike McDaniel would not commit to it, but he said Terron Armstead will be harassing him all week about letting him come back, and he'll see. And knowing Mike McDaniel, he'll probably err on the side of caution and bring him back after the bye, after making him practice all week. I think he's going to have to look like a monster to actually be cleared to practice, to clear to play. And that's a possibility.
I agree. I wouldn't necessarily count him, especially since Kendall Lamb's playing so well. So I wouldn't.
Yeah. And you know what was interesting? Mike McDaniel was asked by Marcel, give him props, why is the team going to Germany such ahead of time? Because they're leaving on Monday. And I don't know why we never asked this question previously. And his answer was basically team bonding. He wanted them to have the Tuesday day off to go see Germany, experience Germany, and then come back Wednesday and be focused and locked in on the game, preparation week. And I think that's so cool. That absolutely so cool from a coach's standpoint, because a lot of their families are going there with them too. I don't know if they're flying on the team plane, but I've heard that sometimes they do let the family members fly on the team plane. But man, that's such a great experience. I've done the London trip twice now. Took both wives. No, it was not a joint thing.
At the same time? No.
Yeah. First wife, we went and we had a great time in Paris. And then my second wife, I actually proposed on the London trip. Proposed at, if you are a fan of the Blue Door, Notting Hill, the movie Notting Hill, my first interaction.
Love that movie.
My first interaction with my wife, she spent the night after. I shouldn't tell you the story, but I'll tell you the story. Just don't tell her I told you the story. She went out to celebrate her birthday with a birthday of a girlfriend, was too drunk to drive home. And so I told her, come to my house. And I lived by the beach. And she came to my house. This is literally before we ever acknowledged the fact that we liked each other. I told her to come to my house. I was stalking her. She didn't know I was stalking her, but I've been stalking her for like a year. And she agreed to come to the house, was sloppy drunk, came to and literally got in my bed with me and then started rubbing my nipple. And then I started kissing her. And we didn't do anything that night. But
we're going R-rated here.
Yeah. The next morning, somehow on TV, my favorite movie, Notting Hill is my favorite movie. My favorite movie was on. She'd never seen it. And I was telling her how good of an awesome a movie it was. And so we watched it together the very next morning. I cooked her breakfast and she absolutely loved the movie. And then I told her that I loved her and I was going to marry her. And this is true. And then probably a year later, I don't even remember what the timetable is. I proposed to her in London in front of the Blue Door. Of Notting Hill Blue Door. See, nice. That's my story.
I love that movie. My wife can't deal with it. I don't know. And we usually actually are pretty.
Your wife doesn't like romantic comedies?
She does. She could never get into that movie for some reason. And I love Notting Hill.
How does she not like Hugh Grant?
I don't know.
I need an answer on that. So you get that. You find that answer.
Okay, I'll find that answer. Yeah, I still love her and I still married her, but she does not like that Notting Hill.
How do you not like Hugh Grant? Like, who doesn't like Hugh Grant? Anyway.
Yeah, no, I like his movie. I don't know if you've ever seen Four Weddings and a Funeral's. Another one I really like.
I do like Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Okay, Wuggy Suggy, sloppy play, past 2 games. Concerned?
Was this sloppy? To answer this question, because I really don't know. And understand that I'm driving I missed the first quarter of the game primarily because I'm driving and trying to get to the stadium. And the stadium still has traffic when the game has started because people somehow come to Dolphins game and don't show up till halftime. Like, how do you do that? Like, I know I'm doing it, but I'm doing it because I have another job that I'm coming from. And I'm like, so I listened to it on radio. Like, was it sloppy?
There were a couple penalties. There was a bad pick. There was a fumbled exchange between Tua and Mostert.
But those things happen in a game.
No, correct. I don't know. So is it sloppy? It wasn't completely sharp. Am I concerned? No, I'm not concerned. So why are my hats all over the place?
5 of 14 on third down.
I don't like you.
What? Huh?
Somebody wrote that. I don't like you. IT respect. You don't like you, Grant? Okay, fine.
Okay, Kyle. Kyle says he'd love to debate me on certain things. Here's your chance, Kyle. Put it up and let's go. So should
I go get a snack while you guys do that?
I don't know why. I don't view myself as a great debater. I just have my opinions and I stand by them and I provide evidence. I think you're a great debater because you have the memory of an elephant and you provide statistics and stats and dates and games and like who remembers all that crap?
Yeah, but you're. I don't know. I guess you're the star of the show here. People want to debate you, and I'm like, okay, I'll go get a snack. Fine, because I'll give you another example here. Omar, you talk about AP students a lot. I don't talk about AP students. That's an Omar thing.
Those are my AP students, man.
Got any resources for those of us who won advanced levels in class, specifically for trench play? Go ahead.
Oh my God, Take Your Eyes Off the Ball by Pat Kerwin. That's the absolute starting point. Phenomenal book about learning the intricacies of football. I've been advising that book to people for years. You start there. When you finish that book, come to me and I'll give you another book. There are a couple, but that's really a starting point. Take Your Eyes Off the Ball, Pat Kerwin. And anybody who knows me knows I do not watch the ball. I refuse to. You'll find out, and here's why. You'll find out what happened with the ball. No matter what happens.
Then how can you make judgments on who's better between Tua and Tyreek if you don't watch the ball?
You will find out because you'll be able to see the play that happens multiple times, but you won't see what leads up to it. If you watch the trenches, you'll find out everything you need to know about football. Everything. Or you could do it the other way. See, I tend to do the other way. You're never going to see the replay of the trenches. You're never going to see that. You rarely ever see that.
Dude, you ever heard of NFL Plus where you can watch a replay?
Okay, you will see it Monday You're gonna wait for Monday to see the trench play?
Because
Tuesday,
when I'm covering a game and trying to analyze it, I'm trying to analyze it as it happens, like live. Yeah, what happens with the ball is more important than trench play, even though trench play.
But I always see what happens with the ball. Every single play. It's going to be replayed. I will see what happens with the ball. I will never get a chance to see trench play until Tuesday. And I could tell you based what?
There are a lot of dude, there are a lot in a lot of instances, the replays, first of all, the replays will show you what happens at the line of scrimmage, and then the replay will follow the ball. You will see everything. But I respect your commitment.
And I respect where you're coming from as well. But the trench play is, to me, a beautiful thing. And I could see when defensive linemen are heating up. I could see when Eichenberg's giving up pressure in the pocket that doesn't allow the quarterback to do anything. And people say, oh, the quarterback's having a bad game. He's got absolutely no time. Like today, I couldn't really see the trench play just because somebody was sitting in my seat and I couldn't really. Yeah,
that's not right.
I don't sit in my assigned seat because I kind of lost my assigned seat to the staff. I've been sitting in the same seat for like 10 years. I lost it, and I sit in a seat that gives me the equal amount of view, and somebody took it today. You show up in the second quarter of games.
Good point.
It is what it is. Where are we at? T. Jones.
Okay, anyway, yeah. T. Jones, you all want Omar and Poop to be like these other YouTubers? Hush, these guys are actually out there in the field. We are privileged to give this as a fan base. Well, thank you, sir or ma'am.
I don't know. I think the other YouTubers is kind of disrespectful. I think YouTubers are the wave. I think they are pioneers. I think they do social media people in general. We're learning and we're trying, and it ain't easy. So all these people who sit up here and say YouTubers are, insignificant and not doing what we're doing, I disagree with that.
No, Omar. Okay, let me jump in here because I don't want this to be how you're portraying my answer. My answer was that's not what I took it to mean. What I took it to mean was that other YouTubers or what other people who have channels, Dolphin channels on YouTube, tend to see everything through aqua and orange colored glasses, whereas you and I don't. And we'll discuss it that way. That's how I took it.
Okay, all right. I can see how you respond to that. I mean, you know how we are. Like we're both straight shooters, so and we don't have to see things exactly the same to shoot it the way that we shoot. Yeah, I while I am a Dolphin fan, and we have said in past that the more success they have, the more success we have. The more you folks tune in, the more money we make. The more you folks click, like, subscribe, follow, click. Again, click. Even if you don't read, click. That's how we feed our kids. Watch, share. So I appreciate that, but. And we are on the ground floor, which is, I think, what separates us from a lot of other people. And it doesn't feel good not to go to Germany. I'm just going to be real with you. Like, I'm going to be away from the team for a whole week, and that's not going to be easy for me, but we're going to do our best. But yeah, I got to shout out all the YouTubers. I learned so much from guys like Reason and Dougie Do Right, Do Wrong. Because I call him Do Right because he does right on YouTube. Like I love what Doug does on YouTube. Like he's like the Pro Football Talk of Dolphins YouTube, and there's value in that to me. Like I don't pay attention to what every guy writes and says every day, but if I watch Dougie Do Wrong for 30 minutes, he gives me everything. So props to that. And we're just doing what we do, and we're in our lane, and we are trying to do the best that we can. And hopefully we can continue to grow and develop and progress and give you stuff that you want, because this is really your channel. Is my speech long enough?
Yeah, there's some people complaining about different things.
What are they complaining about?
No, but I'm not going to dignify your comments, C-SPAD, but please be respectful so I don't have to block you. LJT Poop, love your honesty. Omar, love your honest smile. You're saying I don't have an honest smile? Oh, sorry. Do you think this team will get healthy at the right time? Shout out to Austin Jackson, my comeback player of the year. Oh, that could be.
Oh, Austin Jackson is playing at a Pro Bowl level, bro. I say this, like, name me another right tackle that's playing better than Austin Jackson. Name him. I want you.
You actually think if you're asking me that question, you think I study every right tackle?
No, I'm just telling everybody out there. It's a challenge. Name me. Like, Austin Jackson's phenomenal right now. Austin Jackson is killing it. And probably Tua, Tyreek, Raheem, Achane. I'll throw Wilkins on there to be generous. I'll throw Chubb in there.
We're talking Pro Bowl now?
No, players that are performing like top players on the team.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Austin is right there. Austin's probably the top lineman. He's played every game. I would put Connor ahead of him but Connor isn't healthy. And damn sure Terron damn sure be ahead of Terron, be a top 5 if he actually was healthy.
And Williams has missed 4 of the 8 games. So
Williams, which Williams?
Connor.
Oh yeah, Connor. Yeah,
you can't put him in there. He's missed 4 games. I mean,
yeah. So I would say right now, Austin is probably the 8th best player on the team.
There are a lot of guys who are playing well. I mean, there's a reason they're 6-2. I mean,
yeah, but who's playing ball better than Connor? Not Connor. Austin Jackson. Who's playing ball better than Austin Jackson? That's what I'm saying. Who's playing?
I like Robert Hunt. He got beat for a sack today, but I love Robert Hunt.
I forgot. We go into the Robert Hunt well again. And I like Rob too. Is Rob outperforming Austin? Come on,
it's debatable. I will give you
it's debatable. I will give you it's debatable.
Okay.
Who got a tougher job?
Fair.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like, to hit Austin's job is tough. It's not, Kendall Lamb's job, but it's a tough job.
David Breakount. I assume that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, Breakount. Lane Johnson, right tackle. Yes, Lane Johnson's a right tackle. Howdy, gentlemen. Are there any OL Finns could possibly trade for, even if it's a wish list of players? Can I have your thoughts? I've said this many times. Teams are starving for good O linemen. Teams just don't. When you have a good one, you're not.
Yeah, you'd have to give up something of the equivalent that you gave up for. Oh, somebody said Jesse Davis. I wonder what Jesse Davis is doing right now. Don't act like Jesse Davis can't help this team. Come on, bro. Like, be real. Like. Don't be disrespectful.
And I love Jesse. He's such a good guy, but I think that ship has sailed.
I mean, it probably has sailed, but you're telling me he can't help the team right now?
In what capacity?
A backup interior player. Right now, you're possibly going into this rest of the second half of the season with Lester Cotton and Robert Jones as your starters. You telling me you can't get a little help from Jesse Davis as a backup?
Maybe.
I'm not. I don't know. Jesse might be a family man. He might be barbecuing every Sunday or whatnot. I'm not. You act like you straight. You act like you good.
No, but at some point, how many offensive linemen you're gonna have on the roster if these guys are not out for a long period of time? Somebody mentioned Van Ginkel among other players who have played well, without question. Armando, will AJ get paid? AJ will get paid. I don't know by who and exactly how much, but he's in about
$7 million a year range.
He made himself some money.
Yeah, he'll clear $15 million in guaranteed money. He'll get the Connor Williams deal, Connor Williams special.
I want to see this one. Mike's
Mike back again?
I know. I would love to bait you as a fellow stat rain man when it comes to Miami Dolphin games. Maybe you guys can do a show where you have fans as guests, like behind enemy lines.
Hey, I don't think that's a bad idea. I really don't.
The only problem you're going to have, Mike, is judging by your avatar. You look a lot younger than me, and if I start throwing out games from the 80s or the 70s, you might get drowned.
The Rain Man challenge.
That's funny.
Oh God, man! I think people would want. I think people might want that. Stump the Rain Man.
That's funny.
I think that's a good show. What is this about Chris McCain? Still waiting for Chris McCain to get started a starting gig. Okay, somebody else taking a shot at me. Like
Chris
I guess.
McCain.
Yeah. Oh, Chris McCain. Don't act like Chris. Tell the Chris McCain stories right. Chris McCain was a good player. He was a real slippery pass rusher.
No, he's a guy who had really good intriguing pass rushing potential, who never really did the things necessary to have a long and fruitful career in the NFL.
I get you that. I get you that. He was a little bit nutso. I ain't gonna lie.
But props to him, though. Before every game, he had his routine of walking around the stadium. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was either walking around with a kid.
Find a kid, find a kid and bringing him to the field.
Which was really, really cool. But no, he always got himself in trouble with the coaches, and that's
he was always in trouble. I remember when the whole Ryan Tannehill and the practice squad, like Ryan Tannehill, the practice squad trophy situation. I can't remember the details of that, but it was about Chris Jones. It was about Chris McCain. And they were going back and forth at it. And Tannehill was mad that practice squad players were picking off his passes and sacking him. And they were just like, get good. And it became a real hot mess. And the team just straight up lied about it because they needed to show support for Tannehill. But behind the scenes, everybody was laughing in Tannehill's face because they knew he was soft, like cotton.
I love being called delusional. It's awesome. Shane, Pupar is delusional if 2 hours and playing. Tyreek isn't putting up the same stats. Or I could turn it around and say Tyreek's not playing. Tua is not putting up the same stats. Can we not both just all agree? Both of them are playing great. Both of them are or should be in the MVP conversation.
Can we just get along? Can we just get along?
Like, wow.
Zach Wilson, comeback player of the year.
Oh, did you caught the end of that game today, the Jets and the Giants? Woof.
No, I didn't. What happened?
Props to him, though. It was 10-7 Giants. They had like a 3rd and 4 to kill the game. Barkley got 3 yards, 4th and 1. They go for a field goal attempt. Graham Gano misses it. There's 24 seconds left. Jets have no timeouts. They're at their 25-yard line. Long completion.
Thrown by Zach Wilson?
Yep. Garrett Wilson to about midfield and on that play, there was a penalty on the Jets from the Giants for offside. So the clock stopped. Then another completion to about the 25-yard line to a tight end. Run down, really hurry up to clock it. They clock it with a second left, kick the game tying field goal. So it came up with, and then they won in overtime. I don't know if this is a compliment or a shot. Poop is annoying to debate because he brings like facts to the fight. Is that a shot or a compliment? Or am I just being fun?
I agree with you on that one. But our Papa Hog says the Dolphins are playoff bound. What?
It means count it. Count it.
Oh, okay.
Bound.
They got to win 4 more games just to get in. 4 out of 9. Yeah.
Only question is, do they win a division and get a first round bye? Or pushing it further, can they get?
Hold on, you get the first round bye for the division or the conf? I thought it was only one team.
No. First round bye, they have to number 1 seed.
Yeah, number 1 seed. You first round home field advantage.
Correct.
With the division. Yeah.
Correct. And then Baltimore, looks like we're going to have a couple of 6-2 teams. Jacksonville won today at Pittsburgh, 6-2. Baltimore is up 21-7 on Arizona. It looks like they're going to be 6-2.
Okay.
And the Chiefs are heading to the fourth quarter, still losing 14-9. And
they're going to win that.
And Cleveland is 4-2. And in the fourth quarter, they're leading at Seattle 20-17 with PJ Walker playing quarterback.
Omar, is your shirt? Oh, this is S Gummy ass. Omar, is your shirt Perry Ellis? Because
because of the score thing, right?
Was that on TV? Was that caught on TV on the YouTube feed?
No, you put a tweet out.
No. I asked Tua because Tua came in a. See, you missed that. Tua came in he's wearing his jersey
Oh,
bottoms,
yeah, I saw that. Yep.
but he's wearing a shirt. And I said to him, knowing that he's a Perry Ellis spokesman and model, is that a Perry Ellis shirt? And he looks at it to check and he goes, next question.
Oh, man. Oops.
Like, bro, you can't be selling Perry Ellis and not wearing it to the games. Like, come on, Tua. Also, if I'm going to hold Tua accountable, Tua is an Adidas, because I pay attention to these things. Tua is an Adidas client. He's a flagship player for Adidas. There's no way that Tua should have busted sandals that he actually wears to the game. Adidas people, send him new sandals. Like, I know players can go and order what they want, and Tua probably hasn't even thought about ever ordering anything new. But, bro, you can have busted sandals and be on like his sandals, and he wears them to the game. He wears them to the podium. He's always wearing these sandals. It's Adidas Yeezy sandals. They're cream, and they're dirty, and they're busted. Just get a new pair. Order it. Adidas, hook him up. Like, send him a shipment. I promise you. Like, he's a spokesman for the brand. Your sandals shouldn't be dirty.
Toby, I've been a Fins fan for 50 years. Okay. Holland has been as many big plays as I have. Toby's a hell of a DB, and I don't even play. And we should have signed Bobby Wagner in the offseason. My understanding is Bobby Wagner, once he was
he wanted to
go by the Rams, he was going back to Seattle kind of no matter what. That was kind of one of those where he was a free agent, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a hell of a player.
Josh Hicks asked, do you think Claypool will stay after this year? Maybe if he can convert to a tight end and develop, but he's going to be chasing money. And Dolphins, as I continuously tell you, will have no money to spend this offseason.
Not only that, if you're a wide receiver who is looking to rebuild your career, do you want to be on a team that's got Tyreek and Waddle?
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I right?
If he wants to become a tight end, he can. Tight ends get paid now. And he's huge.
I'm going to put this because this might. No, there can only be one. What?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm going through some of these comments.
Yep. Dr. DC Smith, I said what I said. Hard to complete passes when no one is open. Tyreek is always open equals MVP.
All right. Oh,
no, there can only be one poop. I have no idea what you're referring to. If you're referring to MVP, you're wrong. There can be co-MVPs.
Interesting.
Unless you know something I don't.
Omar asks, have you seen Terron Armstead? The answer is no, not very much. Touche. Well played. Well played.
Well played. Yeah.
Well played. You got me there.
Okay, let's wrap this up rapid fire as many as we can.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, Randall. Last attempt to get mentioned. Fastest show on earth.
No.
Don't think that's going to fly.
No.
Maybe a Pouncey twin wants to unretire. If you've seen those dudes lately, they're linebackers.
They're probably the size of safeties right now. And props to them, because I talked to Mike about it and he was just like, yeah, I haven't touched a carb in years. And props to them, man. That's some hard work right there.
Yeah, they have I don't know who you're talking about here. That doesn't work. You're telling me you wouldn't even sign him to the practice squad? I have no idea who you're referring to.
Jesse Davis.
Oh, Jesse Davis. Sure.
Oh, I'd do that in a second.
Sure.
If he's in shape. Jesse Davis can help me on every level.
No, if that's a standard, I prefer him to Chasen Hines on the practice squad. No offense to Chasen Hines. Sure.
Yeah. Lyle Collins too. You want to start? Somebody gonna want to ride this champ. Somebody want to ride this to the championship now. This is the Dolphins are entering like Patriots territory where people just want to be part of this because they're fun.
I have to put this one there, but no.
Wow, I love Richie, but no. Yeah. This is very interesting. He's been following me since elementary school. I'm humbled and appreciative, and I thank you.
I thank you on behalf of Omar.
It's called Wall Anchors. Yes. Listen, I I really suck at putting them in though, bro. They just fall out. Like I'm telling you, man. You want to come to my house and put up some stuff in the wall, in the drywall? I am not. I know the wall anchors, and you put them in and you pull them out, and like, nah, those things suck. My dad has to come do them. I'm sorry. You use drywall, girls. Drill the studs into it. I'm not good at that thing, man.
Austin Jackson has arrived. Yes, without question. Thank you, Matt. By the way, completely off topic. Those Seattle Seahawks. I know everybody loves the Dolphins throwback uniforms. I am kind of. I like them. I'm not blown away by them like a lot of people are, but some of those like Seattle Seahawks throwbacks, every day of the week. They are so cool.
See, okay. Let me address this.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Hold on, I gotta find it first. Yeah. So someone needs to make a meme of Omar saying she rubbed my nipples. And the nipple rub is very important. And here's why the nipple rub is very important. Because I had not made my intentions known. And here she is. She gets in my bed. She starts cuddling with me. And then I'm like, okay, she's drunk. She's just cuddling. But then she starts rubbing my nipples. And then it signals to me, hey, she likes me, which I didn't know if she did or not. So that's why the nipple rub is important.
What about the gesture made you think that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're just thankful that somebody gave you someplace to sleep when you were drunk, then it's one thing. But anyway.
Okay, let's run through some more comments real quickly, and then I am personally going to call it at night so I can go spend some time with my family, which just got back from Halloween Horror Nights.
And I want to hear what the crowd was like, because I couldn't even. I'm a person where I don't like Disney World or Universal or any of those theme parks, and then I'm just absolutely fundamentally opposed to places that have huge, massive lines. So, what was the wait to go into these things?
I don't know. I have to do my
reporting.
My reporting first, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to go through this and address, Omar, before we?
I'm scrolling. And I thank you guys for everything.
Thank you, Mario. Hit the like button, peeps. Absolutely.
A lot of people love the Dolphins here in Germany. That's cool. That's very interesting. I have no idea what Germany is like, and I hope the guys have a great time. It's time to put some respect on Cedric's name. Cedric who?
Wilson. Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
All right.
You're ready to have him traded. Now you don't even remember.
Damn. 14.6 yards per reception, 1 touchdown. Hey, he's delivering. Maybe it's true that
sorry, Omar, except he had one catch for 1 yard today. It was a touchdown, but it was 1 catch.
Hey, he's delivering. Maybe it's true that guys take a while to learn this offense. You understand what I'm saying? And now that he learns the offense, he's contributing. Oh, it was a quarterback.
He had 1 catch.
Cedric the Entertainer. I'm sorry. I get like Jeff Wilson, Cedric Wilson. It got past me. The 305 cheat codes. How about that? How about that?
No.
Okay.
At least it's not South Beach something, because they don't play in South Beach. Okay.
Listen, are the Chiefs about to lose or not? What's the story?
It is 14-9. The Broncos early in the fourth quarter. The Broncos have a 3rd and 1. Sorry,
early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 14 minutes left.
Man,
the
please.
Bengals are handling the 49ers in San Francisco with Brock Purdy, 24-10. And if we're talking about teams that could be an issue down the line in the AFC, now that Joe Burrow apparently is back physically, I would certainly suggest not dismissing the Bengals.
Sure.
Against the 49ers, he's 25 of 29.
Bro, this is a banged up 49ers. This ain't the real 49ers.
They're not banged up on defense. They're banged up on offense with Samuel and.
Okay, and they're banged up on offense, and their offense is a juggernaut. Like, nah, that's Fugazi.
I am telling you.
Now that he's healthy, he's coming back. Okay, get in line, brother. Get in line, Cincinnati. You behind the Dolphins right now. Cincinnati. I don't even know if they could beat the Steelers.
And I am telling you, you are being foolish if you're going to dismiss them. But okay, but you do you. Is this the best?
They're not better than the Ravens. They're not better than the Steelers.
Oh, dude, the Steelers are 4-3, and the Bengals are about to be 4-3, and the Bengals are eons better than the Steelers. But
all right, we'll
that's
see.
just me. Is this the best team you have covered? That's a good question. That's a very, very good question.
Best Dolphins team. I mean, you go back years. Definitely best Dolphins team I've ever covered because I've covered nothing but
you don't go back
losers.
to like the 84 team. Well, actually, technically, I wasn't covering the 84 team since I started. Full time, I started in 89. So 89.
I got nothing but losers, except for the 2 winning seasons.
Here's what I would tell you. I am very, very, very excited about the possibilities for this defense with Ramsey now entering the picture, with X on the way back.
We didn't even talk about Ramsey.
I think this defense has very, very, very interesting possibilities.
How did we do a whole podcast and we didn't talk about Ramsey?
Because we suck. That's why. Oh, sorry. All right, let's wrap it up with a little Jaylen Ramsey action. We're going on about an hour and a half here, so let's do a little Jaylen Ramsey chat. And
he called his shot. Mike McDaniel acknowledged that Jaylen Ramsey told him on the sidelines of the Patriots game that he was going up of the first Patriots game in week 2, that he was going to be back for the next Patriots game. He called his shot and he actually achieved that. The Dolphins put him on a snap count. He nodded them off every time they told him to come off the field. Mike McDaniel said he promised me a pick 6. He only gave me a pick. He gave me a pick touched field goal.
Pick field goal.
He let me down. And you know, that was about as impressive a Dolphins debut coming back from an injury as I've ever seen. You?
No. There's one that's very, very easy, and anybody of a certain age would know what it would be. Let's see, it was 29 years ago, so you would have been very young. Dan Marino, 1994 season opener, first came back from his Achilles injury. Where
what did he do?
Threw for over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a 39-35 win against the Patriots in a ridiculous shootout against Drew Bledsoe.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. No, that was that's the standard there as far as first came back from an injury. Good luck topping that one.
Okay.
But what Ramsey did was impressive because he not only had the pick, he also had a forced fumble. On a play that was pretty early on a play that was negated by a holding penalty on the Patriots. And if it wasn't for Ezekiel Elliott being really quick to it, Brandon Jones would have had the fumble recovery. He was about to get on the ball, and Elliott got his arm in there, and the ball wound up rolling out of bounds. Play got called back. Obviously, had Jones gotten the fumble recovery, the Dolphins would have declined the penalty.
Mm-hmm. One of those plays I did not see. So
it was pretty early in the game. It was like after a short completion, I believe it was, and it was like textbook tackle where he got, like I remember if it was a helmet or the arm right or the shoulder right onto the ball.
That was probably my walk into the stadium where I have to wait in line because there are people who are showing up in the first quarter. Like, how do you people go to games and show up in the first quarter? Like, what is this?
Yeah. So,
and do you not know when the game starts? 105.
Well, floor is fashionable to arrive. Looks like Denver just did what?
Nah, they're gonna lose.
Sanders got done something.
They're gonna lose.
Turnover.
Denver got a turnover or gave the ball up?
Oh, no. Denver got a turnover, and they now have a first and goal at the Kansas City 9-yard line.
Let's go, Russell Wilson. Take care of business.
So now we could be looking at and Baltimore is going to win. Baltimore's up 24-7 at Arizona, so we'll be looking at a 4-way tie atop the AFC standings with the Dolphins, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and Kansas City. Interesting. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yes, we shall.
Been a long day. Got a couple more things to write on alldolphins.com, where you can get all of Omar and my stories, analysis, columns for free.
Thank you guys for watching, participating, continue to support us. As we say, the likes, the subscriptions. We're on audio back again. We should be on YouTube. We should be on Apple by Tuesday, supposedly, if they let us in the club. They're gonna let us in the club.
But in the meantime, we're on.
We buying bottles, so they're gonna let us in the club.
In the meantime, we're on Spotify. We're on
Google Play. We're on something else, Redfin,
and it's under All Dolphins podcast. It's not under the old name that we used to have.
You could unsubscribe that old name. The old record label kept it and kept our followers there. So everybody who listens to the podcast through audio, hook your boys up with a subscription, even if you watch it on YouTube. And we appreciate you watching it on YouTube because those are the people who write the biggest checks. So if you have a choice, we appreciate you watching it on YouTube. But if you like the audio versions, we definitely encourage you to subscribe. So on that note, we thank you. AllDolphins.com, where you can find all our work. And First and Tens coming next week. We're out. Visit alldolphins.com for the latest news, analysis, and columns, and it's all free. You can find Omar Kelly and Alan Poupard on the All Dolphins podcast discussing South Florida's NFL team on YouTube and anywhere you find your audio podcasts. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share so you stay in the know.